to add 5 and 6, with 6 being
Okay.
the additional percentage.
Okay, so we're okay to approve 4.
Yes.
All right, so we'll take staff's recommendation for 1, for phase 4 of 2, and I thought there was one other piece. Oh, the extended project.
Yes.
And that'll be my motion from the staff recommendation.
Okay. So I want to flesh out for the public and for Karen Pinole, who is here, in particular, because she's here simply representing the public, exactly what the scope issues were. What is it that happened? Because I know when you have the hillside stabilization and the detention basin are the crux of the expansion of the beach. So please explain what that is.
Sure. So there was a whole series of things that happened after the original budget was established. The district decided to move forward with the linked learning concepts and academy concepts, which meant that we got 4 houses. We added 4 specialized labs within the building, which increased the square footage by nearly 10,000 square feet.
So that was a scope increase that was driven by the curriculum needs of the
That is correct.
site.
That's correct. The other scope increase is the hillside stabilization, which was driven by the CGE, which is the California Geological Survey, that indicated also working with the geotech, which is your soils engineer. And I learned my lesson a long time ago that when the geotech soils engineer tells you to do something, you just do it.
We learned a lot from Globe.
Yeah, from Globe and from Alan Croft, which was soils engineer, and the issues is we have a hillside, a historical hillside behind the site on the southeast corner. That site the dirt has moved there in the past. You guys have been around long enough to know that we had about 2 feet of dirt packed up against the backside of the buildings there for some time. It all had to be removed because of the moisture on the hillside. So we're putting a 400-foot-long concrete pier, steel and pier system wall, and they're going to be removing about a third of that hillside, digging it down below the ground and creating a keyway, and then rebuilding that hillside in order to stabilize it. So that obviously has a significant cost to that.
Right. That's what we're buying here.
Oh, yes.
We're buying here. I mean, what tends to happen sometimes is people are just looking at the numbers and not understanding what it is we're getting from those numbers.
Right.
And what we have is some extraordinary circumstances with respect to our sites that make them, unfortunately, more expensive than the average site that one might come across in California as a site to build a school, right?
Yes.
And that's the reason why these costs have escalated in the way they have. It's just that we are committed to building a school there. We're committed to building a school that meets the curriculum needs of our community. And we're committed to having it be a safe school. And that's the reason it's costing more.
Some other components too was that the amount of water that comes off that hillside and through that hill and through the site in general is rather significant. And that's why you've had some of the issues you've had out there over the years to manage with, including having the quad flood and having to deal with the backup that occurs off of Little Creek down there between the shopping center. And so the way that we were required by the state to manage that is we had to put an underground detention basin, which we didn't have the site to put a surface detention basin, we didn't have the space. So right now underneath your relocatable campus out there is a massive detention basin that will hold all that water, allow it to percolate into the ground and slowly discharge it the way the system can handle it. Those are all costs that are necessary that we don't have any control over.
And that we didn't anticipate.
Now, some of the neat things that we were able to do that are going to benefit the school in the long run. We talk about this being a 75 to 100-year campus.
Right.
It changed the face of downtown Pinole. The city council people are extremely excited about it. They were very active. We often have a quorum of council members at the programming meetings and design meetings to make sure that this campus met their specific requirements, and they did. One of the other key issues was the street. Pretty much Pinole Valley Road is going to be completely redone from Shaw all the way down to the Red Onion. And they'll be putting in 4 lights, is that right, Michael?
That's correct.
4 lights through a very extensive analysis and modeling process. Those lights are not cheap. We're dealing with AC Transit to make sure that they've got the right drop-offs and putting the right number of lanes in to help provide the appropriate level of traffic movement through the city that the city wanted. They didn't want it to be a thoroughfare, everybody blazing through there, nor did they want to deal with the unsafe issues that currently exist with the way the cars all stack up on both sides of the street, and that is a safety issue. So working with Fair and Piers, with the district's traffic consultant, I think an effective system has been designed, but the district is putting a lot of money into Pinole Valley Road. There were some, I think, some very wise decisions made to help you with your general fund when it comes to operational costs. You spend a lot of money on energy, keeping the lights on, keeping things warm. Out there we have to air condition to keep things cool. So rather than go with package units, which are the big boxes on roof that are not as efficient, we worked very closely with Mr. Freeze at the time and said, let's put a central plant in. And so we're putting a central plant in with coolers, chiller towers, so that the efficiency of that building is dramatically more than it would be using other types of heating and cooling equipment. That's going to save money on your operational costs and put money back in the classrooms. So there have been some decisions that have been made to make sure that we're getting sensible, high-quality materials and products in there that are as energy efficient is got the right payback. You know, there's obviously things out there you can spend a ton of money on, but they don't pay back. Everything we're putting in based on the analysis of our engineers and working closely with the district is all going to pay back. So every single decision added a little bit of money to that. And I know it all eventually adds up, but in the big horizon of a 75 to 100-year campus, they're all very sound decisions. Well, I don't want to get too technical, but let's put it this way: that they grade ground between A and F, and the closer you get to F, the bigger the structure gets, and the more expensive the steel is. Well, we almost were at F. We were able to back off a little bit, and I think we ended up with C or I think D, so we were right there. So what that means is that we've got more steel in this building than we have in El Cerrito or De Anza. And the reason for that is because the soils conditions that are out there, again, regulated by the California Geological Survey and your soils engineering, not us. And those are costs that we did not expect as well. But you're going to get a 3-story moment frame building out there that is going to, does a couple different things. Not only does it react seismically extremely effectively in a seismic event, also because of design, you're getting more free square footage within the building. We're not wasting a lot of square footage dealing with the big cross beams and having to box things out. So we're maximizing the usable net square footage for students and teaching to create what's going to be a phenomenal learning environment. There's not another campus that's going to feel like this in the state of California. Now, not to say that that's extravagant, it's not. It just means that we've taken the best that we've learned with this district and the best that we have done throughout the state, and you're getting it from all.
Right, and we're applying the standards that we've set throughout the district.
That's right, since
One
2002.
key thing here, and what happens to us because of the fact that we work in a seismically compromised geographic area,
Yes.
we have to respond to that to keep our children safe.
Oh, absolutely. Remember that at one point we thought there was a fault.
Yes,
that went
remember
across
that.
there. So they dug 2 trenches. One was like 120 feet long, the other was 200 feet long, 20 feet deep, and a geologist spent a week in a bucket down there counting dirt. But we were able to, fortunately, because that would have changed things dramatically, able to say no, the fault does not run through there. The trace faults stop. So although there are soils issues, which are not unusual in the Bay Area, we don't have to deal with that aspect of it. So all of that takes time.
And we had to find that out, and all of that was, those process of keeping your kids safe and building a school that's really a school for the future and all.
And then it meets the needs of the community.
Yes.
We came up with the district has standards that are used as basis for every school, elementary, middle, and high school within the district. Those form the basis. There are some things that go away from that standard because they're not necessary on that site. Some things get added because of educational programs. So for instance, there's a very strong drama program that's